What's up, Talk community? It's your girl, Sue Perspective, coming at you live on this beautiful Tuesday morning, afternoon, or night, really depending on when you're watching it. We got mommy over here is Courtney, and we got daddy over here is John B. We're here to have a great time. How's everyone doing? Is everyone feeling
fantastic?
Scrumptious?
It felt really good to have you doing the intro again. I felt like that felt very natural for a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I had to remember how to intro for a hot second because before we got here, before John pressed start, he was like, actually, Sue, would you like to intro? And I went like,
are you guys going to be on the screen with me?
are you gonna be there to hold my hand, please? It's like dropping your kid off at daycare.
Dropping them off at school. You're like, okay, go on, make new friends. And they're like,
and they fall and they trip on themselves and
yeah, my boss learned that I'm not good at impromptu. He has to like give me time to prep. Because one time he just put me out there and I went like, yeah, these numbers, they're like really cool. And
these numbers.
Yeah, these numbers. I literally said, and yeah. And he was like, all right, so we're not doing that again.
All right, get back to your cubicle, Sue. You're embarrassing us.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, what's up, everybody? Good to see you all. Like Sue said, happy Tuesday. Dude, hey, good to see you. Mika, welcome in. Great to see you. As you can tell by the title of tonight's stream, we're talking about enthusiastic consent, you know? I think that this is a very important conversation, one that probably should have been had on Let's Talk, and one that I think needs to be had now, especially with the temperature and climate, with a lot of things that are happening right now. The reason why I brought this up to both Courtney and Sue is because a content creator that I enjoyed, unfortunately, had allegations of basically being a sex pest. Yeah. And it was very hurtful as a fan. And it was one of those things where the mantra of, you know, there needs to be enthusiastic two-way consent. And I always just kind of assumed, well, you know, Talk Limited, we're a very progressive group of people. We are very sex positive. We don't need to really have that conversation because, you know, we live it. And we talk about it when we talk about, you know, sex, and we say, hey, if you're going to do or say anything of these things to with your partner, there has to be consent. But then you forget things like casual sex and social norms and things that are really not okay, but we just let go and brush it under the rug. And so I really wanted to have this conversation, and I hope that it's one that we can all just kind of have open minds about. If you want to talk about it, if you have questions about it, you leave them in the comments, and maybe we'll talk about it on a later stream, or we'll respond to you. Or if you're in the chat tonight, you can talk about it with us here live. But before we get to that conversation, let's talk about what's going on. Sue, before the stream started, you said that you had a story to tell, and you were about to tell it, and then you said, "Not right now, though."
Is it about the Build-A-Bear gift card?
Is that the conversation you were going with?
It was. I don't know if it has anything to do with the context of what we're talking about, but like, shoot, if you want to, like, we can talk about it. Like,
I mean, we could talk about anything before we dive into the big topic.
Yeah.
Can I talk about my coochie?
Yeah, sure. Why?
Yeah, sure. Why not, Sue?
What about your coochie, Sue?
That's a really good question, Courtney. I'm so glad you asked. So, guys, if you're not following me on my social media, first off, you should. It's Sue_perspective on all platforms. But recently I had like a quote health scare because I had an abnormal pap smear. And cancer runs in my family. So I was like, shoot, got to get that figured out. So I went to, I don't know what it's actually called, but it's basically like a pap smear 2.0. It's like a deep dive into like a deeper dive into the coochie. So basically it's classified as a surgery because they got to do some cutting, but like I'm on the stirrups and she's like in there and she's putting stuff in my vagina. It's like dyes to like see any abnormalities, like lube, like she's like really this is a thorough inspection of my lady bits. And so, first off, it was terribly uncomfortable. If you've never had a pass me before, or if you don't have lady bits or a coochie, let me explain it to you. I want you to imagine someone is grabbing hold of your genitals whilst adding pressure on top of your stomach and pushing. That's what it feels like, right, Courtney?
Yep.
It's pretty accurate.
It's very accurate.
And they'll like turn it, and it's like very rigid. It's not a fun time. But cool. She had to take a biopsy, and a biopsy is when they cut a piece away of like tissue or something to get it sent to a lab. So they're like, oh, we found a thing, so we're gonna cut it off and send it off. And I was like, oh my god, you're gonna cut parts of my coochie? I kind of like that part of my coochie. Oh my god. It didn't hurt though. That part didn't hurt. She was very just like quick about it. What hurt was she taking the speculum and doing this like a fucking steering wheel in my coochie. That was not fun.
Can you explain to those who might not know what a speculum is? Can you describe the shape of this wonderful tool of torture?
Can you, for those who don't know, can you what's a coochie? No, I'm just kidding. Go on with
it. Where is
the coochie?
Where is the coochie?
No. So go on with it. Yeah.
So a speculum, I want you to imagine like a duck beak, but extra long, and it has a little bit more of like an opening. So it's kind of like that, and it goes in and then it opens. So it's a duck bill. It's very uncomfortable. So I spent all yesterday like cramping, and I was like, oh my god, like it hurts. I was also being a huge baby about it because I just wanted to make all my male parties like feel bad for me, because they were like, oh, like it's like whatever, like you'll be fine. Like I don't understand why you're making a big deal about this appointment. I was like, I'm gonna ham this up. I'm gonna ham it up. But then this is so gross, TMI. So if you're skittish, look away.
Close your ears.
Close your ears. But the doctor was like, you're gonna experience some discharge. It's gonna be like brown and yellow because of the medicine that we put in there. Like, don't worry, like don't freak out. Like it's totally natural. Like it's like whatever. I was like, okay, cool. Like I can deal with that. Huge chunks of what I thought was skin was leaving my body through my coochie hole. I was enthralled. I was panicking. I was like, oh my god. And I was like in there inspecting, and then I accidentally hit my cervix, and I thought I was gonna vomit. It hurt so bad. It was like, oh. And then I'm at my desk like, it was not a fun feeling. But I learned that that's just the liquid gauze that they put in and around the cervix area so I don't like bleed out. So that was really cool.
Awesome. I don't mean to laugh at your discomfort or your pain, but I'm laughing because I could envision like that face you just made.
Yeah. You're a good storyteller too. Also,
thank you.
Unrelated, but I totally understand. I had to poop so bad on Friday that it hurt that I thought I was going to throw up.
Yes, that's actually also a very good analogy, because you feel like you have to poop, but it's not poop, it's just pain. It's the same if you get an IUD inserted. It feels like you have to take a shit, but it's not. It's just pain.
How was your weekend, Courtney?
Shitting is pain. Also, hi, Rose. Nice to see you. Hi, Juicy.
Good to see you,
Hi,
Bo.
friends. Good to see everybody. My weekend was less graphic, but, my son we celebrated my son's 9th birthday.
Courtney, that boy looks smack like you. He is so cute.
Oh, thank you.
He's so cute.
I appreciate that. Thanks. Because I've heard most of his life that he doesn't look like me. So
no, that is your baby.
Thank you. Because I've legitimately had an older woman. When I took my son on vacation, I had him by myself at the pool, and this lady came up to me and for some reason felt it was appropriate to say, "You're such a good hands-on nanny." And I'm like, no, he's mine.
Racially motivated.
But instead of just taking that note and going, okay, so sorry, have a nice day, she doubled down and was like, oh, but he doesn't look like you.
And I was like, and this is why your kids don't call you anymore, bitch.
Well, the hard part for me is I was in shock. I was also on a different. I was on Maui. I was not on my home island, so I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if I hit her, who am I calling to bail me out of jail on this island? Right. So it was just So thank you. I appreciate the compliment saying that he looks like me. It only took 9 years. It's fine.
Developing. Watch, one day he's just gonna melanin, you know?
Well, I mean, he gets really tan, like, because he plays sports,
me.
right? He plays soccer, he plays baseball, and so like he just spends a little bit in the sun, and he gets tan, and he tans a lot nicer than I do now, which is infuriating because I'm pretty sure he took that from me when I gave birth to
when
him.
he exited the coochie?
Yeah, when he exited my coochie, he took all of my amazing tanning powers. Because before, when I was younger, I could go to the beach, no sunscreen, spend all day in the sun, and I just turned purple. Now, I'm in the sun outside just walking for an hour. I get sunburnt and turn lobster red. This is ridiculous.
I don't know if purple's a good color either, Courtney. That sounds
I don't
bad.
know. Yeah.
Next question.
It's really brown. But yes, I celebrated my son's birthday with 27 other children at Chuck E. Cheese. So thank you to all the Luke's friends who came to the party. But God, it's a lot of kids. And I'm like, I love mine. I tolerate mine.
Yeah, the one is enough.
Just so many of them. And of course, I don't know if I've ever told you about how I have a bit of a traumatic experience from Chuck E. Cheese. So the fact that we had his party at Chuck E. Cheese, I was slightly experiencing some PTSD. I am a grown-ass woman. I'm going to be 32 in like 3 weeks. The moment I know it's a teenager dressed up as Chuck E. Cheese. I know that. But seeing that bitch's head come around the corner, my immediate reaction was to run. And I'm like, oh, wait, I can't run. I'm the mom of this party. I have to watch the children. I can't.
It's like a little girl trying to make money for the weekend in that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like some crusty teen with acne just trying his best.
Yeah.
You know?
Hi, ma'am. You know?
Hi, welcome to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. No, there. Hi, Auntie. That's probably what he would say.
I love that.
I would have been so mad. I used to do it as a kid, and I never realized how disrespectful it is. I mean, to be fair, in Hawaii, everybody's auntie and uncle.
Yeah.
But it's different when you have someone who's your height coming up to you and you're like, okay, thanks, auntie. And you're like,
Did that mouse just talk to me?
Disrespectful. But John, how was your weekend?
I think going by height isn't fair. Most kids keep growing after 5'3", so yeah. Right. My weekend was better than sounds like better than both of yours, to be honest. I had nothing scraped out of me, and I wasn't surrounded by children, so I'm gonna call mine a win.
Male privilege.
Right? So nice. So lucky. I bet you didn't even sprain your ankle either.
I did not sprain my ankle, no. I don't carry more than I need to when going downstairs.
Valid.
So that I can see where I'm going. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Imagine not doing that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's worse that it's worse that this time I fell down the stairs and sprained my ankle. I was carrying nothing.
Oh,
you klutz.
Yeah.
And Binks just watched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I need you to hold on to that railing. Okay. I need you to do that. It's very important to me and probably everybody in the chat that you hold on to the railing on the way down the stairs.
Could you imagine, guys? We got to cancel stream. Courtney fell down the stairs again. It's 2023.
Yeah. Well, I hope that your ankle's doing better.
I mean,
it sounded
I can walk on it. It's still a little sore.
Yes. Now you can walk on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's no good. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I had a good long weekend because it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. So I didn't have to work on Monday, so I kind of just farted around on Saturday and Sunday, not doing shit. I was supposed to go see Avatar, but I stayed up way too late on Saturday playing World of Warcraft with somebody that I didn't want to do anything the next day.
No.
What?
No. Friday, you went to a concert. Okay.
Oh, Friday I went.
Don't even blame me on that one, all right,
Wow.
sir. You went out to a concert on Friday.
That was a long
and was
weekend.
out late.
That's right.
Yeah, so that was not even me. Okay, you were supposed to go to the movies Saturday. You went out Friday night, way too late.
That's right.
So I am not taking responsibility for that.
That's right. So for those who know Jebuiz, who usually hops in chat and chats with us, he's in a band called Ghost Parade, which I recommend that you YouTube. I would play some, but I think it's probably copyrighted, so I'm not gonna. But here, I'm gonna find one just so I can link it to you guys. Ghost. It's not Ghost Parade YouTube. It's not like on a. And unfortunately, there's a game coming out called Ghost Parade, or there is a game that came out recently called Ghost Parade. But they were called Ghost Parade before the game. They've been a band for like 11 years. Music. This isn't working. Oh, here's one. Okay, perfect. They don't have an official YouTube page, so here you go. You guys can have this.
Take it
right here.
Have
Take
it, but don't leave.
Yeah, no, don't leave.
Put it in a separate tab.
Yeah,
nasty.
But I didn't realize how great of a musician he is, and Jeb Buies is in that music video, so you can see. And he's the lead guitarist. And
cute.
It was an amazing show. And we got there, and Christian, aka Sex Sandwich, he went with us. And so we're standing at the bar, and this really, really drunk woman comes to us.
Oh.
And is like, and we were with other friends too. Do you guys want to share this booth? I have this whole booth to myself. And this place is busy. So we're like, yeah, fuck it.
Sure.
And we didn't realize how drunk she was when we were asked to sit down with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I'm here to see the band. It was like the first band, no idea who it was. This band, she's like, I would suck his dick.
Oh,
I would if he wasn't married, I would suck his dick. Just over and over and over again. It's like, oh, you really like this guy, huh? When he goes up, are you gonna stand at the front and like,
cheer him on?
No, I'm not getting up. And then she just went on. She's like, I just got broken up with today.
Oh.
Yeah. And then she was like, what'd you guys do today? I'm like, well, we worked. She goes, I've never had a job. I was like, what is happening right now?
Why do you attract the most interesting people?
Oh no, I love that.
I think honestly, it was Christian that attracted her.
Was Christian's wife there, or is it just you guys?
Just us guys. And
Okay.
walked up to him, and yeah. And I made the executive decision to just take the seat. I was like, why don't we just take the seat while our other friends get there?
Yeah.
But by the time Jeb Buies went on stage, we got up from that booth and we went to the standing area because I didn't want to be over there. I was getting really uncomfortable. But
yeah, that's
yeah. But
I just never had a job before.
Yeah.
I just got broken up with. All right, that's a villain story right there.
And she's like, I've never had a job. I was like, what?
How do you not? What does that mean?
Getting through life, never having to get a job.
Must
or
be nice.
I know, right? The only thing you gotta worry about is getting broken up with.
I wish that was me.
I know, right? Shit.
I mean, a couple of years ago, that was me, but I was a minor at that point, so that was valid. Nah, my biggest concern is medical bills. That's like my thing right now.
What was your first job, Sue?
Ooh, so outside, well, I won't count martial arts teaching as my first job because I basically lived and breathed that. My first job with a W-2 was Spirit Halloween. I was a sales associate.
Gosh.
And the best part about that job was I'm pretty good with people if you put me on the spot, but they deliberately only put me on cash register because you have to ask for donations for Spirit of Children, which is a legit thing. And they found out that when I was on the floor or at the cashier asking, people were more likely to say yes to the preppy 17-year-old versus like the 25-year-old dude that has to be here. So that was cool.
You wanna donate to kids?
Yeah.
Right. Whereas it's like, oh my God, like I love these items. Would you love to donate to our whatever? Fuck it. And they were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you big doe eyes
Whatever.
and just
Mhm.
bright-eyed
And
bush
then I go
tail.
back and smoke a cig, and I'm just like, God, these people.
And then you bring out your real voice. I fucking hate this holiday.
Every year we do the same shit. Different fun.
Courtney, what was your first job? Your first W-2 job.
My first W-2 job was Zippies.
Oh, that's right. Zippies.
So to be fair, I worked 3 jobs for my first job all at the same time. So I worked at Zippies, and I don't know if you folks remember Price Busters.
Oh my God.
I don't think we had a Price Busters here.
Neither did I, but I've heard it, but I know
So-
it's not an East Coast thing.
What
In
is
those-
Price Busters?
So in the shopping center that I worked at, it was literally Zippy's, and then across the street was the Price Busters. So
What is it? Because here, Price Busters is a furniture store.
No, it used to be just like a little random like store that had like little knickknacks, it had a little bit of everything. It had snacks, it had drinks, it had like paper, and it was like literally just
Like
a
a
little
dollar
bit
store?
of everything. Huh?
Like a dollar store?
I guess so, yeah. Like, but it was more expensive than $1. But yes, it was
Okay.
essentially a dollar store.
Okay.
But it's no longer. I mean, they shut down and they no longer exist. Obviously.
Yeah, it looks like they shut down in 2013. R.I.P. Yeah, they only had 8 locations and they were all in Hawaii. So no, none of us remember Price Busters. But if you're watching if you're watching this video later and you happen to be Hawaii, you guys remember Price Busters?
Yeah, leave a comment down below.
I just like dated myself right there. I worked at Price Busters.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I worked at Price Busters and Zippy. So I would literally go from like one job to the next. And then I was also a full-time, college student. So that was fun.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
My first job isn't anything exciting. It was just a retail store called Basic 21, and it was a Dickies store. They mainly sold Dickies and whatever was like popular in fashion at the time. So like, what I wore a lot of Dickies, so I was like, yeah, I'll work here. I'll get some discount on Dickies. And they also, when like seatbelt belts were big, they sold those.
Oh
and,
my
like,
god!
in the glass case at the front, and like. Yeah, and they were right by Pachanga, which is our casino on the Native American reservation over here.
Nice.
It's the largest in Southern California, or at least it was. I think it still is. And so I was like, one day I was like, why do you guys call yourself Basic 21? And the owner and his wife, I think his wife, part owner, was like, 21, lucky. I was like, you fucking got me there.
Sold.
21.
Yeah. They were Korean.
Like
So like she said
Forever
it in a
21.
What's that?
I thought it was like a knockoff of Forever 21.
No, I don't think Forever 21 was really
I don't think they existed quite
a
yet.
thing yet. Yeah, I'm old. But it might have been. I don't think so. Our mall definitely did not have a Forever 21 at that time. But I just remember they were Korean, so she told me in her most broken Korean accent, 21, lucky. I was like, oh, of course. Yeah. So
That's cute.
yeah. But yeah, that was my first job, and I got let go because they told me that it was a temporary position, and I was like,
Aw.
what?
Huh?
Yeah.
What? Wasn't temporary to me.
Yeah. It was crazy. I had that job working while I was in high school, and I thought that was pretty neat, that because I still didn't drive, but at least I had a job.
Hey, no license. but a
Didn't drive,
job.
no license, but hey, money.
Yeah.
Get that.
Yeah,
I
pretty
like it.
much. And then it got crazier after that. I've had like 15 jobs in my life, so probably more.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. I don't know how awesome it is, but chat, what were some of your first jobs? Do you remember having a first job? Have you never had a job before, like that one lady?
Oh my god. She out here wild.
Also, comment your first job, as well as comment if you remember Price Busters. And also like this stream. If you haven't liked the stream yet, why not?
Why?
Why? What's wrong with you? I haven't liked the stream. Done.
Juicy saying my first job was a flea market food court. That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shaden saying that his first job was manual labor for a flower farm. That sounds like it would be like really like nice flowers and stuff, but
Sound
also
like the
really
main
laborious.
character-
Very
Sound like
laborious.
the main character to a Hallmark movie.
Sure.
George saying that construction, but that
Japanese.
didn't last long.
Well, we're just talking about you and your music. Welcome in, George.
Hi, George.
Rose said first one technically would be babysitting, but true on tax wise would be coaching.
That's-
Ooh, what
yeah.
kind of coaching?
Yeah, we're talking W-2s, although I don't think Canada does W-2. Mika saying my first job was at a daycare center for kids. God bless you.
Oh,
I don't think I could work with kids.
still can't.
Oh, they're
He can,
sticky and they,
he can barely tolerate us adults.
True.
kids always smell like mac and cheese and glue.
Oh, what?
What? They do.
The first time I realized I could work with kids but I'd rather not, I was in 8th grade and I was in, so I went to private school. For those who have heard this story before, I grew up Catholic, so I no longer am. And I went to Catholic school, and Catholic school is 12th to 8th grade most places. And my parents worked late, so I had to stay at this after school,
like A+ program.
Yeah, I don't remember what they called it. But basically anybody who couldn't get picked up right away stayed at after school on this thing. It was on the school property, but it was owned by a different company.
Yeah.
So it had nothing to do with our school. And one of the kids, I would say he was probably in 4th grade. I was in 8th grade. He just started throwing a fit. Just like a non-verbal fit.
Like
throwing furniture, like,
oh, that's not a fit. That is a whole rampage.
like a tantrum, I guess. I have no idea.
Oh God.
And so we were all down the hill in the track, and up the hill was the building that we would stay in. He was in the building by himself, just tossing furniture, throwing stuff around by himself. And one of the ladies, because they're both older ladies, one of the ladies was like, "Hey, can you go up there and talk Chad down?" And I was like,
No.
I'm 13 years old and he's tossing. I don't know what to say to him, but I did. And this kid fucking told on me once for saying the F word. But anyways, I walked up there.
Chad, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Such a Chad.
Yeah. So I walked up there and I was like, what's going on, buddy?
Buddy.
Pal?
What
amigo?
What seems to be the problem, pal? But like, I don't know. I sat with him and I talked to him, and like I had to like basically just calm him down, and he did. And I don't really remember what I said or what I did, but eventually we were all able to go back upstairs or back up the hill, and he was fine after that. And I was like, I did a pretty good job.
John literally just put him in a chokehold and knocked him out.
I did not touch him. He was
Funny.
throwing. I walked up there. He was still throwing chairs. I was like, oh fuck.
Man, a kid is still in the chair. He's just like, wee. Nice.
Yeah, kid on the chair.
Yeah.
That's a funny visual.
Oh God.
But
go ahead.
This
I'm
is what.
listening. What?
This is what.
This is a tangent.
I was gonna say this is a terrible segue, but what's a Patreon?
Oh. So for those who don't know, if you want to support this stream, you guys should check out the description anywhere. We have a couple of great links, one of them being the Patreon. Thanks so much for asking, Sue. If you want to support this show for as low as $5 a month, that's as much as if you guys remember Twitch, and if you supported us there, $5 is like a tier 1 sub. So if you do the $5 tier, not only do we get more because Patreon gives us a better split than Twitch would ever dream of. Twitch only gives you 50-50, whereas Patreon gives us 80% if you decide to support us. But we have extra content on there right now. So I think currently we have 3 or 4 bonus episodes. If you want to check it out. Most recently, Courtney and I tried to play Chubby Bunny, and that video is up.
It was so.
Yeah.
You guys played Chubby Bunny without me? I'm actually jealous. Oh my God.
I still have fucking marshmallows if you want to play.
No, I definitely. Can we do that next week? We're playing Chubby Bunny.
You guys, we could play. We have two. We already have a post show in mind, but if you guys wanted to go one round of Chubby Bunny together on the post show, I'm okay with that. I do not want to play again, unless do you not have. Do you
I
have?
don't have marshmallows, so.
So for next week. We'll do it next week.
Okay. You don't have it. Okay, perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, next week you guys can go.
Oh, thank God.
I thought you said you had marshmallows. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So that one's up. You can also see Courtney, Christian, and I tier rank Mountain Dew flavors, and you can see Sue, Courtney, and I. We could talk about what did we do?
Oh, God,
Would you rather?
Vile stuff. Yeah, it was like dirty. Would you rather?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. It was dirty. Would you rather?
We got very graphic with it.
And also very upset. I was personally attacked by a bunch of those, and I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, and tonight, if you want to see us get dirty and honest, we're going to be doing Tooth Truths and a Lie. And because the three of us are perverted, most of these are really dirty. They're supposed to be relationship based, but a lot of them are just straight up X-rated stories. So
Oops.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the assignment. My bad.
So check out the link. That's Patreon down below. Also, check out the Discord. We're going to talk about it more tomorrow. But if you like fantasy type football, like those types of drafting type games, we're doing one about video games. It's called the Talk Fantasy Critic League. And we're doing our draft this weekend. We're going to figure it out either Saturday or Sunday as a community. We're going to hop in the Discord in the voice chat. Basically, the goal is this: we make our team, our team in the league. Our team is a developer, and we want to draft video games. And the better the video games score on Open Critic, the more points you get. And you have your game has to score 70 or above. So let's just say, for instance, you pick a game and your game scores an 82. You get 12 points because that's 12 points over 70, right?
That's some sexy math.
Thank you.
I wish I could do it.
Thank you. I picked a very easy number to do that. So that's how it works. Person with the most points at the end of the year will win big. This is just for bragging rights this year. Hopefully, if this works out next year, we'll do
Like a
we'll do a
cheesy
prize.
ring.
Yeah, we'll do a cheesy ring. No, we'll do some sort of prize, maybe a cash prize or something.
Or also, I have a 3D printer. What if I 3D printed a championship, like how we have those Super Bowl rings?
Yeah, with
What
talk,
if I 3D?
with like talk
what if
logo
I
on
yeah, what if I 3D printed like a talk champion ring?
it. Yeah. So
Well,
hopefully next time we get more participants because there's already 3 of us in the league that are part of talk, and if we win, that kind of defeats the purpose.
No, it doesn't. It just means I win a ring.
Okay, if you want
What
to,
if-
do you want to 3D print a ring this time around?
What
Oh.
if you 3D print and put John's face on it on the tip?
Yes, as the trophy. You're a genius. I'm gonna have to relearn CAD, but it's worth it.
No idea is original. Everything's false.
I hate
Okay,
this.
so yes, so that okay.
Nobody
winner.
use it.
A winner. Oh man.
You can't
What-
use that.
Oh.
Not without enthusiastic
That's
consent.
right.
No,
Not
be-
with that attitude, but no.
No,
Okay,
because
so
it's
this
3D
year
printed.
winner is gonna get a 3D printed Talk championship ring,
Okay.
and then also a John trophy.
It's going to be a penis-shaped trophy with my head at the end.
Now I really want to win, and I was actually accepting that I was gonna lose, but with these prizes, I actually want to try now.
All right, there
Thank
you go.
Stu.
So if you want to join the Discord. The links are in the Discord now. It's free to participate. And even if you don't know video games, there's an auto draft feature. So it'll be fun if we all just kind of hang out together in the Discord. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm determined to win. Sue, when John told me that we were doing this whole draft thing, I was like, well, great. I'm excited to lose. Now I want to win.
No, you gotta win now.
Oh boy. All right.
I visualized everything. It's great. Anyway,
Yeah.
John,
Yeah.
what is enthusiastic consent?
Well, I'm Googling that right now.
Jonathan,
While he Googles that, can I say a bit?
please.
Have you guys ever watched the tea video? So there's this video.
I've watched
that
your tea videos, yeah.
explains- You're cute. There's this video that explains consent through making someone a cup of tea. So it's like you invite someone over and you're like, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And if they say yes,
Mhm.
then you make them a cup of tea. Well, let's say that they say yes, and then you come back with a cup of tea, and they're like, "I'm not really thirsty." You don't force them to drink the cup of tea. That's weird. So you're just like, okay, so you leave the tea alone, and then maybe if they want the tea, they'll have the tea. If you take someone back to your house and they pass out, you don't force them to drink a cup of tea because they can't drink the cup of tea. That's also just weird and rude. So it explains again, like enthusiastic consent and just putting consent in a more, I don't want to say digestible format because consent should just be a conversation had amongst all groups, but it definitely is more like a digestible, like, oh, like that makes sense. If they're passed out, why would I force someone to drink tea? Like they can't physically drink the tea. So yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
I like
And
that.
Juicy saying, I love that video. That's an interesting one. Should we have watched it all together? Is it a long
Yeah,
video?
let's watch it.
Is it a long video?
No, it's like 4 minutes. Hold on. It's like it's 3 minutes.
Okay.
Am I allowed to share, or who wants to stream this? Who wants to do this?
I'll do
We'll
it.
have the
I'll do it because I have to share it. What's
Okay,
the
it's
title?
just tea and consent, and it's a little stick figure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. And you said
I have
it's
to burp.
it's 3 minutes long?
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
2 and some change.
2 minutes and change.
Okay, here. I think I found it. All right, so I'm going to share screen. It's going to break the scene, but we'll fix it. Oh boy. Whoa, why is it lagging like that?
Oh, why doing that?
Why is it doing that thing that it do?
Oh my god, why is it doing that?
Why are you doing that? You're making this difficult. Kidding, I love you.
Okay, can you guys see that?
I can see that.
Okay.
Okay.
Chat, can you see that? No, you can't. Let's go ahead.
I love this video.
Cool.
And they have a cute little accent. Might be a graphics thing.
Chat, can you see that?
No, they can't see that.
Yes, they can.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully they can hear it. Consent. It's simple as tea.
There we go.
Here we go.
If you're still struggling with consent, just imagine instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea.
Okay.
You say, hey, would you like a cup of tea? And they go, oh my God, I would love a cup of tea. Thank you. Then you know they want a cup of tea.
Hmm.
If you say, hey, would you like a cup of tea? And they're like, I'm not really sure. Then you could make them a cup of tea or not, but be aware they might not drink it. And if they don't drink it, then, and this is the important part, don't make them drink it. Just because you made it doesn't mean you are entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say no thank you, then don't make them tea. At all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay? They might say, yes, please. That's kind of you. And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's kind of annoying as you've gone to all the effort of making the tea, but they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind in the time that it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind. And you are still not entitled to watch them drink it. And if they're unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea. And they can't answer the question, do you want tea? Because they're unconscious. Okay, maybe they were conscious when you asked them if they wanted tea. And they said yes. But in the time it took you to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk, they are now unconscious. You should just put the tea down. Make sure the unconscious person is safe. And this is the important part again. Don't make them drink the tea. They said yes then, sure, but unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out before they'd finished it, don't keep on pouring it down their throat. Take the tea away. Make sure they're safe, because unconscious people don't want tea. Trust me on this. If someone said yes to tea around your house last Saturday, that doesn't mean they want you to make them tea all the time. They don't want you to come around to their place unexpectedly and make them tea and force them to drink it going, but you wanted tea last week. Or to wake up to find you pouring tea down their throat going, but you wanted tea last night. If you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you're able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand it when it comes to sex? Whether it's tea or sex, consent is everything. And on that note, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea.
That means he's gonna go masturbate.
That's what I thought too. Okay.
I love that.
Right? Isn't that cute? And it
I
won
love that
film
very
awards.
I love that so much. John, can you do me a favor and put the link in the chat here, as well as put that link in, so that way we can put the link in Discord later as well.
No, everybody has to come watch our video and give us views. It's in the
He right though. But
No,
I
that's very good.
love that video. They showed us that in college, like as RAs, to because we have to deal with that stuff a lot in college, which is unfortunate, but it's true. So they showed us that video, so everyone's on the same page, and it's just it's a very simplistic concept that is then further explained simply, because it's just like, if you want it, cool. If you don't, cool. Don't force someone to have tea with you.
Yeah.
That's weird. You're weird.
I think that video is amazing, but what's sad for me, like to me, is that we have to put it into that context.
Right.
It shouldn't have to be it shouldn't have to be that way. It should literally be that, no means no. Even if it started off as a yes, if there at any point becomes a no, it's still a no.
Right.
Like, the fact that we have to have simplistic videos like this to try to help people understand consent is just infuriating and mind-boggling to me.
So a lot of what seems to be going on right now in the state of why this conversation is happening in the circles that I'm seeing is what's referred to as sex pest behavior. And it is when you think that you need to pursue rather than accept the answer that you were given. So there's a lot of this. I don't know if it's toxic masculinity as a kind of stance, but this idea that when a woman tells you no for the first time, that what they want is they want to be pursued. They want to see that you mean it, right? That maybe that having a little bit more persistence, showing persistence is romantic in a sense. Welcome into those saying hello in the chat right now. And I think that that's unfortunate because there's two conversations that are had. This conversation that is had with men, it's like, oh, like no doesn't always mean no, dude. Like, she's
just playing hard to get.
She's playing
like
hard
that's
to
just
get.
like the gang. You just gotta keep pushing. Like, come on.
Yeah. And then there's the conversation that girls probably have, and it's like, if you say no, then like you're a prude, or the
You're
guy's
such a tease.
you're
Like,
a
oh my
tease.
god.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it comes from both spectrums, because you have the, oh my god, if you say no, then you're, if you don't put out, then he's not going to give you anything. He's not going to treat you right. Or
Right.
on the same token, you're also being told you can't say yes on the first, for the first time. You got to make them earn it.
Yeah.
Like there's
Right.
so much misinformation and just so many conflicting teachings and like advice that's being given. Like you have both ends of the spectrum. You have friends that are telling you, oh, you have to do the 4 call rule.
Right.
Yeah, 4-day rule. You can't answer on the first 4 calls. You have to
I'm gonna
make
need-
them fight for it.
All these people to stop telling us what to do with our genitals. I do
Yeah.
what I want with it.
So ultimately, that is what enthusiastic consent should sound like and look like, right? If you're both feeling each other, then there should be enthusiastic consent. You shouldn't have to assume that this person might be feeling you, and you shouldn't assume if they are or they're not. So here's what enthusiastic consent looks and sounds like: asking permission before you change the type or degree of sexual activity with phrases like, "Is this okay?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sexy.
Do you like this? Can I touch you like this?
Okay, wait. I'm gonna need you to slow down a little bit. My body's doing a thing. Hang on.
So there's this very common misconception with guys that consent isn't sexy, that consent is going to ruin the moment.
Man, that makes the moment. What the fuck y'all suck at foreplay. Just say
Folks,
it.
time out. I want to take a quick second. So do you folks see what John just did and how it instantly affected me and Sue in the same manner? Okay? If you are being told consent isn't sexy, that simple phrase of him just asking, is this okay?
Yeah.
Can I touch you like this? Do you see?
That's hot.
In real time, real reaction from myself and Sue.
Yeah.
It's called required foreplay. Just say you don't know what foreplay is. It's okay. We'll teach you.
But here's the thing. It's also confirming that there is reciprocal interest before initiating any physical touch. Right?
Amen.
So if both of you have already been kind of flirty with each other, you've decided to meet up for the first time, you knew that you were going to go on a date, or you've met for the first time and you just kind of been, you feel like you're both kind of feeling each other, you have to talk about it. You have to say, hey, do you want to go somewhere more private? Oh, shit.
This is a Chuck E. Cheese.
We know what it means when you want to go somewhere more private. And at that point, that person can consent. They can say, no, I'm much more comfortable right here. Thank you. Or they can say, no, I'm not really interested in that. Like the conversation is enough, whatever.
Right.
Or they can say,
Not really quite there yet, but
yeah.
thank you.
Or they can say, yeah.
Or they can just be like,
yeah.
Yeah.
or if you just like, yes, okay, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Say that, yep.
Mind the wet spot. Slippery when wet. Thank you. Yeah. And also, so sorry.
No, you go ahead. This is very
That's
important.
right.
Yeah.
But it's also like, isn't it just much more fun to like be involved with someone that is like feeling you that way, that's giving you that same energy? Like, I understand some people, the way they give energy is different. So like you might be up here and they're still giving you enthusiastic consent, but their energy level is like still here. But I'd rather have that than this,
Yes.
And having to, like,
or just
constantly-
this, and this person is not even on the same
right.
page.
And have to like barter or push. But like, it's so much fun when you're on the like relatively the same plane of like, yeah, like let's go, like let's do this. Like, you just get more out of that interaction instead of like, please, like that's stop. Everyone's uncomfortable in this party.
Right. And that's a very good example of what being a sex pest is not taking
no.
Not taking no.
Just no, it's an answer, and that's okay, Shotty. There are plenty of other fish in the sea. If they don't want your coochie, your dicky, that's fine. Respect that.
And I think that's another discussion for, I guess men, but men and women alike, is understanding rejection and being okay with rejection.
Yes.
Because I know that a lot of women are also afraid to reject men because they are not sure of the consequences that may come with somebody with, a really toxic mindset or I mean, unfortunately, the climate we live in, this trigger warning, I will speak from experience. I am a woman, as a woman, sometimes afraid that if I tell somebody no for something, I'm afraid of the violent reaction I might get in return. And unfortunately, that's the climate we face, where I am afraid that if, I deny, deny a male his advances towards me, I am afraid that he will react violently. He'll, try to dox me. He'll try to hunt me down. He'll try to hurt me. Yeah. And and unfortunately that, I mean, a lot of people try to say that, that's a little extreme. I think that's being a little over dramatic, but
it's not.
It's the reality of the situation. I mean, there are so many cases where women get like the lighter end of the spectrum is, you'll get a man who's like, oh, you're so sexy and beautiful. And you're like, thank you for the attention, but I'm actually not interested in any sexual relationship with you. And they're the 180 of, well, you know what? You're fucking ugly. You're a bitch. So that's one end. But then there's also the more drastic end of there's violence that could be involved, and it's scary.
And the same can go on the other side of the spectrum too. Like I've hung out with with female friends or girls that like once they get rejected, they just go on a hissy, like they'll throw drinks, throw hands, start slurs, like all that stuff. It's just listen, rejection's rough regardless, from a job, relationship, interactions, but like you just got to be like, damn, and let it go. Like missed opportunity, but like, do you really want to spend any time with someone that just does not want you?
Well fucking said. 100%. Why would you pursue someone who has no interest in you? Why waste your time? Pick yourself up and move on, right?
Right. They're not a
Yes.
prize to be won. Like, that's not how this works.
And you know what? I get it, folks. Sometimes we get so caught up in this person is perfect for me, or oh, we vibe so well. The chemistry is unreal. You know, I mean, even if you've had like if you when we make out though, that's amazing. But if the person in the end makes the decision that, hey, they don't want to have sex with you or they don't want to pursue a relationship with you, that's it. You can't just think, oh, they're going to change their mind. If I just keep being everything they need, they'll change their mind. No, that's not how it works,
No.
folks.
You can only control you.
Exactly. And that's that's part of consent, which people don't realize. Consent is not just the, yes, we can have sex. No, we can't have sex. Consent is so multifaceted and varies from levels.
Yeah.
Even just having a conversation, you need consent. If you want to even talk to me, you need consent.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
If I want to talk to you, I have to get consent, regardless of the type of conversation. Period.
Yes. Sue.
Yes.
Yes. Hold on. Oh God. No, I have it. Okay. So like, let's talk real fast about like what are some nice coping mechanisms that you can do when you do get rejected? I'll go first. I like to take drives in my car and cry a little bit, and then I get over it. That is real though. Like
It's totally valid.
that's real. I would
I
also
agree
like to
with you.
note. I'd also like to note, and we can circle back to this before I forget. Same with like relationships. Your partner has the right to be like, nah, I don't want to tonight, and try not to, don't feel entitled because you're in a relationship. And that stuff can get very misconstrued very fast. Like, I'm sure everyone at some point has been in that situation where it's like, but you're my partner, didn't. Nah, consent is consent, relationship or not. But yeah, coping mechanism, go.
Let's see. I wouldn't say I drive because just for me, if I'm gonna cry, I can't see. I'm already borderline legally blind, so if I'm getting behind the wheel, I'm putting myself and everyone else on the road in danger. So I'm gonna just say, yeah, just not to stereotype, but I am an Asian woman. I'm short. We're just not gonna do that. So for me, my coping mechanism is really depressing music. A lot of very like indulgent snacks and food, lots of crying, and then of course watching movies like that will help me commiserate, like some Bridget Jones Diaries.
Yeah.
just watching some of those and then just sitting there, crying a little bit. And it's just like it's a cycle. Have the wallow in self-pity, just cry it out. And then go through a minute of like a good 20 minutes of, you know what? I'm great. I'm fantastic. There's somebody out there who's gonna want this coochie. And then move on, and then circle back, cry again, and then just eventually keep moving that circle until we move upward into the hill and get over it.
I've
Maybe
been
masturbate a little.
I've
I
never
don't
been
know.
Rejected, so I
That
don't know,
too.
What?
I'm kidding. I said I've
What did
never
you-
been rejected, so I don't know. I'm just kidding. I take the red pill and I watch a lot of Andrew Tate. No.
What is a joke?
I don't like how fast you were with that joke, though. You had that one prepared in the pocket.
Oh, I mean,
Damn.
well, you have to know what you're fighting against, right? It's very,
Yeah,
it's very important to understand what's out there in order to know what you're against. So I'm very familiar with who Andrew Tate is, and yeah,
Don't Google it. Just don't.
He's absolutely the problem, and a lot of the reason why this conversation is being had also, because he did speak to a lot of the next generation who look at what he did as okay, and it's bad. But
It's bad.
for me, I mean, it was a lot of lyric writing because I'm a lyrical person, so it's like writing very like hurtful things as a song, and then being like, I'm never gonna repeat these words, and then throwing it away.
That's what
sort
my
of thing.
ex did.
And then your mom fighting him. Is this what you like?
No, that's when I draw big titted women with no heads.
That's also what my ex did.
Yeah, well, I was a lot younger, and that was just because I was horny. But
Hot.
like a lot of that, a lot of just like a lot of angry lyric writing, listening to instrumentals that are very like somber-esque, watching I guess watching like sad movies helps too. So but
Yes, Sue.
yes, Sue.
No, you can finish your thought.
Well, I think that everybody bounces back differently, and I think everybody understands what it is that channels their inner emo kid, as Edison said.
Yes. And here's the thing, folks. Everybody's coping mechanism is different. And it's no matter what your coping mechanism, as long as it's safe, as long as it doesn't, put yourself in any kind of harm, everybody's coping mechanism is valid. Like if you just need to sit and just do nothing, if you're a kind of person who will just sit in silence,
don't
and do
wallow
nothing,
in it.
Go wallow. That's fine.
Yeah.
And everybody's coping
don't
like
timeline
is different.
Yeah, it's
Some
true.
people-
It is different.
Yeah, just to like speak to like the materialistic kinds of people out there just real fast, because a lot of the times, and this might just be my own like skew of social media, a lot of the times when I see like that are getting rejected is obviously from like let's be real, from like really, really very pretty peoples, and then they categorize those types of people into this chunk of like, please excuse my language, like whores and sluts and like
The best
things
kind of people.
like that. Yeah. But it's like, I just want to also say, like, just because this type of person rejected you does not mean that you can't still thrive to like reach whatever like level of like attractiveness that you want. Does that make sense what I'm saying? That sounds very shallow.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to be a little shallow to think like these people.
Well, no, I don't think it's shallow. I think it's understanding because everybody's attracted to somebody different. So what you find attractive is not what your friend's going to find attractive. And if you understand what you find attractive and you go, this person was attractive to me not only because of their looks, but because of what they are interested in and what they're determined to do. And if you want to find somebody similar because of those attractive features, then yes, you should. You shouldn't settle. You don't want to be with somebody who's going to bring you down rather than lift you up, right? If there's an attractive feature and you feel like you need that in order to move yourself up as a person, just because it's attractive to you, I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing that. But not to rub it in the other person's face. It's like, well, this person's like a 10, and you were a 9.5. You know what I mean? Like, definitely not those things. I don't think that's. Yeah. But also,
folks, you don't need to cut somebody else down because they reject you. I'd like to point that out.
Yes.
That doesn't, just because that person was a 10 when you were infatuated with them and they turned you down, does not make them no longer a 10.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd like to point that out because right now we live in such a toxic freaking society that just because somebody denies you or negates your advances doesn't make them any less. Okay?
Exactly.
Period. They can still be a 10. And they can still be a 10 to somebody else. They can still be a 10 to you, even if they say no to you. It doesn't depreciate their value because they don't want to have a relationship with you of that type.
And the things that they confided in you in is not ammunition for later.
It is not. Don't. That's bad.
That one more time, louder for the people in the back. Thank you.
So let's take a look at enthusiastic consent a little bit further. Letting your partner know that you can stop at any time. That's part of enthusiastic consent. Hey, if you don't like this, please let me know.
That's so hot.
Yeah. Set up a safe word.
Yes.
Honor that safe word. Periodically checking in with your partner, such as asking, is this still okay? Right?
I love that.
And a lot of it can just be like, do you like this?
I love that. Thank you kindly. Literally love it.
Yeah.
Stop
Providing positive feedback when you're comfortable with an activity.
Yes. Sorry.
It's getting really hot in here.
Yeah. I love that.
Explicitly agreeing to certain activities by either saying yes or another affirmative statement, like I'm open to trying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then using physical cues to let the other person know that you are comfortable taking things to the next level. So these are voluntary. Physical cues, because there is a note, and this is very important. Physiological responses like an erection, lubrication, arousal, or even orgasm are completely involuntary. Meaning your body
that is just a body doing things.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if you are with a partner and you make him erect, that is not consent.
No.
That is not that is not consent.
He can't control that.
You did a very good job, but that doesn't. I mean, there's such a thing as a fear boner,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So, and that
That's
goes
Yes.
obviously
Yeah.
that goes the other way. I obviously use that as an example, but it goes the other way too. Just because your partner might be wet does not mean that she's saying yes. That doesn't
Yes.
mean that she's saying yes.
That is a fear squirt.
Fear
Oh
Squirt.
my god.
You guys made me ink.
Fear Squirt is my new band. They'll be opening.
No.
They'll be
That's
opening
my
for Ghost
safe word.
Parade.
What the?
Oh my god! Can we get Juicy Dolphins for Fear Squirt? I think that's a perfect.
Oh my! Wait, that
Yeah.
phrase.
Yeah.
And now, introducing to the stage, Juicy Dolphin and the Fear Squirts.
This is good.
Clip it. Clip it.
Oh my gosh! Fear Squirt play show with Ghost Parade.
They should. They should open.
I love it.
I'm
Let's go
gonna,
tour.
I'm
Oh,
gonna throw up.
So consent does not look like this. Okay. Consent refusing to acknowledge the word no. That's obviously not consent.
Mhm.
A partner who is disengaged, non-responsive, or visibly upset, that is not consent. Assuming that wearing certain clothes, flirting, or kissing is an invitation for anything more, it's not.
That one.
That one. That one. Big bolded letters underlined twice.
Mm-hmm. Someone being under the legal age of consent. We could talk about problematic age gaps at another time, but
Yes,
understand
this is not the time.
this is not the time. But understand if they are under the legal age of consent, they cannot consent.
Period.
Period.
From the standpoint of everything and the legal eyes of the law, they cannot consent.
Yeah,
Period.
that is a booking record you do not want. Next statement. Thank you.
Someone being incapacitated because of drugs or alcohol. Pressuring someone into sexual activity by using fear or intimidation. And assuming you have permission to engage in a sexual act because you've done it in the past. Right. So
Just like the video said, just because you made tea for them last week.
yeah, doesn't mean they want it every time you have to offer it.
That's weird. Like, could you imagine literally I'm sorry to get graphic. You suck someone off and then they come back to your door the next day. They're like, hey, you want, that's weird. And they keep coming back. It's like, stop. I'm going to put mouse traps in the front if you don't fucking quit it.
I'm gonna put
that's
mouse traps on this.
Weird.
Folks, if I gave you a Whopper from Burger King last week and you said yes to that, do you really want me to come at you and give you a Whopper every single day?
No, God.
No.
I don't want a Whopper any day.
Exactly.
I don't want to have it my way.
You guys want to wait? Do you guys want to hear a cute story about Whoppers?
Sure.
I'm a little scared, but sure, yes.
It's cute. It's gonna break the tension. You guys ready for this story?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Papa perspective, my father, he came from Korea around the age of 9. And when he came to the United States, he was very poor, did not speak a lot of English. It was him, his 2 siblings, and his aunt and his mom. And so Oma, his mom, worked at the local Burger King on the Fort Meade base where they used to reside and whatever. And because they were poor, they obviously couldn't afford a lot of food. They could only eat what they got provided at school. So whenever Oma would come home from work from Burger King, she'd bring home the extra Whoppers that they made, and they'd always be cold. And so Appa my dad only ate them cold, and he still does that to this day. He just
Really?
he just eats cold Whoppers. He will deliberately, we will go to, my mom loves Burger King because they have really good vegetarian options for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he will get 2 Whoppers, one to eat there and one to specifically eat later cold, because that's just how he likes them. That's how he grew up eating Whoppers. So isn't that cute?
That's awesome. A little bit of nostalgia by still eating it cold.
Yeah.
That is
really
awesome.
cute.
That is cute. But yeah, don't show up to people's doors all the time with Whoppers or tea. That's weird.
Yeah. We went from tea to Whoppers, but it's the same analogy. Either way.
You understand it.
I'm diversifying because some people are just like, tea? I don't drink tea anyway. Well, how about a Whopper?
I don't need Whoppers anyway. No.
But like, yeah, if you don't drink tea and someone keeps offering you tea and you keep saying no, that's weird. That is inconsiderate and uncomfortable. Like we've established you don't like the tea, but if I'm like, hey, yo, you want this tea? I made it just for you, so you have to drink it. I put all this work into the tea, so you have to drink it, and you keep saying no. That's pestering, sex pestering.
It is sex pestering, and ultimately, I think that that's one thing that the dating generation needs to understand is that, and that can be anybody who's actively looking for somebody, is that a person has the right to change their mind.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes, at any point in time.
And they have the right to say no to you, and they have the right to ask not to be pursued in that manner, regardless of gender.
And regardless of how far you've gotten.
Yeah. You know, and I think that with this generation and with the generation that we also grew up with like hokey romantic comedies and like things of that nature where the guy is you know, it's like, well, she's the one, but she's told you no, she didn't mean it, I'm gonna show her that I'm the one. It's like, holy fuck,
manic
dude.
pixie dream girl.
That's yeah. That's not okay.
No, it's not.
And I think that if you have this heart of gold mentality where I can show her that I'm the one, if that's ultimately what you think is coming out of your actions, you need to remember one important thing: you are not the main character at all.
No,
you are making somebody else's life unbearable. They want to
you are the antagonist.
They want to go to work and fuck off. They want to go to class and fuck off. They don't want to be pestered.
No.
They've already given you an answer. They're probably hoping to avoid you. They just want to go on with their day. And I think that's one thing that a lot of us seem to forget. It's like, well, you know, if I come across in this manner, then it's going to change their mind and it's going to be really cute and it's going to be really awesome. And I'm the one that they need. And, you know, but this is real. And this is high school. You know what I mean? If you think about it. It's something that people need to grow out of or never fall into.
Right. It's like, from that perspective, it's definitely like a rose-colored glasses situation, but like take it off and like look from the perspective of the other person. Like, could you imagine like being like proposed to by this dude or this person that you've been consistently rejecting? You're so close to getting that restraining order and they make this public display. Like, that's cringy. You're gonna end up on TikTok and it's not gonna be cute. That is a digital footprint.
Yeah.
Quit that shit.
I also want to point out too, folks, if you are a friend of somebody who is exhibiting this kind of behavior and wanting validation from you, you have the ability to tell them, especially if they ask you like, hey, I'm going to do this. What do you think? If you know in your heart, like you feel in your heart that if that happened if you were in the other person's shoes and your friend did that to you and you would not feel groovy and awesome about it, be a good friend. Your friend may not like it.
Yeah.
But you're possibly saving somebody else's, you know, either life, because you don't know if your friend can, not saying everybody's friend is going to get violent, but you never know what people's reactions are going to be. You could possibly save somebody's life. You could possibly save somebody's day.
You can save somebody's reputation.
Huh?
You can save somebody's reputation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just, we as a society get so caught up in the aftermath of pointing fingers and canceling. But if you have an actual opportunity to stop something ahead of time, speak up, because one day it could be your friend who gets
their action
harassed.
But their action is not your responsibility.
No, they're not.
You can give them your 2 cents, but do not expect them to take your advice. And if whatever they choose to do, that is not your responsibility.
Yeah.
So
yes. And that is not your responsibility. That is also not you. You don't have to take ownership for what happens. But I'm just,
But I do also want to say that empathy is learned. So you mentioned, Matt, you know, sometimes you need to take a step back and put yourself in their shoes. Well,
Yeah.
that's an empathetic statement. And unfortunately,
Unfortunately.
empathy is learned. So we are not all born with empathy. And sometimes something tragic needs to happen to you for you to open your eyes and be like, oh shit, now I see it from their perspective, right?
Yeah, some of y'all are gonna get your ass handed to you.
And sometimes it doesn't need to happen that way.
Unfortunately.
Sometimes you can just look at the situation and be like, well, I don't think I would enjoy that very much. But it takes a lot of work to be empathetic.
It does. Or nice backhand. No, but you're right. But I've definitely have been rejected plenty of times.
Same.
And like I remember specifically, I asked this dude out, absolutely adored him. I was like, oh my God, like this is perfect. And I asked him out and he said no. And I was like, oh, okay. And I cried a little bit. I was a little embarrassed and then I got over it. I was like, okay. But maybe I won't go into that story because I don't want to give you guys like the green lights or like the fantasies or whatever. But yeah, like sometimes it sucks. Like whatever. Cool. You're living life. That's cool. Don't be a dick about it.
Getting rejected sucks.
It's part of the game,
but it's
though.
part of how it's part of life because not everybody is going to be picking up what you're putting down.
Could you imagine if everyone said yes to everyone? We would just be transmitting absolutely foul, disgusting. No. Boundaries, people, boundaries.
Just overall, our overall message, folks. Consent. And just because you've gotten it once doesn't mean you get it every single time.
Yeah.
And the hard part with what a lot is happening on social media right now within a lot of, I'm not going to get into details because that's not what this show is for. And we're not needing to air out other people's business, but a good majority of all of that stuff that's happening in the current space could easily have been avoided or circumvented had people just taken consent into consideration.
Not
when
only
it comes
that, but understanding
Yes.
what enthusiastic consent is. And that's why I prefaced this conversation with that there just needs to be a better understanding and more communication about what consent really is. Because we've been conditioned as a society and we've been conditioned as men to not take the first no for an answer because they're playing hard to get or they want to be pursued. They find that exciting, and that on this side of the conversation is for those who are pursuing and thinking that they're being cute and they think that they're being some kind of way that they may be a sex pest. They may be something that they didn't realize they were doing was wrong because of how society treats those kind of actions, and they really need to take a closer look at that. And I speak from this because of what's happening, what the things that are coming out, and the type of role models that kids are getting right now. Like I made the Andrew Tate joke, but I said it because it's a very real thing. You know, and even though he is in jail right now, even though he is being processed and hopefully he
still has an influence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
People still believe that kind of rhetoric.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
And also, folks, consent. I want to make this very clear because consent is not just for sexual relationships, romantic relationships. It's also for friendships.
Yeah.
Consent for your boundaries. Like any kind of behavior that you don't like being talked to in a specific way, that like even joking matters.
Yeah.
Consent is important for your friendships as well, your platonic friendships.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add?
I love you. This was a great conversation. I hope everyone took something from it. And things will get better. We just have to lead it that way.
Yeah. It's really tough. I mean, I started the conversation because one of my favorite content creators, and I mean, his name is everywhere. Andrew Callahan of Channel 5. Yeah, it sucks. Really, really sucks.
Yeah, it's gut wrenching.
Yeah, because you don't want to see somebody who's influential in your life based on the content that they create, and then have that kind of negativity come out about them because of what they exhibited as non-consensual advances and being described as a sexual deviant or what was
Predator?
predator, maybe that's the word. I don't know.
Ugh.
But it's tough. It's really tough, and you don't want to see the people around you lead those kind of lives either. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
But yeah,
I think with that, I think this is an episode. What do you think?
I
this
think
is an
so.
episode.
We're
I have to pee.
Okay, well this is a great time to end the stream then.
Yes.
Folks, we're gonna have a post show. It's gonna be recorded and put on Patreon. It's gonna be lighter
Mhm.
in conversation. It's going to be two
Also,
truths and a
before we
lie.
go, we're gonna go ahead and say thank you to our Patreon subs.
You're the best. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, if you are a Patreon supporter, that means you end up on the thank yous like this as well. So thank you all so much for your Patreon support. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for just being you, and of course, thank you so much to our Patreon subscribers. Are they subscribers? I guess they are. Patrons. Patreon
They're patrons. Thank
Yeah.
you for your patronage.
Thank you for your patronage.
Should I do that one as a voiceover too? Thank you for your patronage.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Mom.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. See you
Good
next
night.
Tuesday. Wipe your butt. Consent.
Wash your booty.
Wash your
Use
booty
soap.
front to back. Front to back.
Use soap.
Everybody's partying front to back. Hey, hey, get jiggy with it. Hey, don't stop. Hit it. Hey, I really have to pee.